This is the Blue and White Garage. I am your host, Kyle McDonald. Today on the show, we have an excellent woman who is trying to find 100 jobs for $100 or more. Her name is Aimee Davison, and she is, oh, there she is. Right
running here from a job, no.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I find it absolutely fascinating. You're trying to get 100 different jobs for $100 or more. How many have you done so far?
61.
61 at this point?
Yes.
I've been going through your list of jobs, and there are everything from model, actress, web content provider. You've worked in trade shows. You've delivered a cheesecake to Toronto. Tell us a bit more about that one.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite jobs. Basically, I saw an ad on Craigslist that said that he was looking for someone to hand deliver a mango cheesecake from Montreal to Toronto for $50. Mm-hmm. And so I wrote him and said, if you're willing to pay me $100, I'm willing to come do this. And he was so touched by my project that he said, I'll pay you $150. I'll pay for your train ticket. And he was just so easy to work for, and he was so moved when I showed up. Like, it's one of the best clips. Like, not the getting there, but if you watch just the last minute of his face, it was amazing. And that's the best, most touching job I've had. The rest have been, you know, either funny or crazy. Like, I actually did enjoy walking around in a unitard. That was an experience.
A unitard. That's something I've never worn, actually. What's it like wearing a unitard for profit?
Whoa, for profit. Fun. I don't know. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's kind of preposterous to think that could be his entire business model. But in a way, apparently they do it in Europe all the time.
So his business model is?
Human billboard.
Human billboard.
So you wear, basically it is that he hires attractive women to walk around downtown with white Lycra bodysuits with logos imprinted on them.
It's kind of like racing.
Yeah, yeah.
NASCAR, but more like, I don't know, urban-based?
More generic, right? So that any company, but I think mainly his clients would be like liquor companies or Axe or something sexy. Yeah. I don't see, you know, Toys R Us wanting a Lycra.
Well, kids are going to grow up and they're going to want different things when they're older, so you never know. Is there anything you aren't willing to do?
Take off the Lycra unitard and service the man who hired me.
Okay. And he asked you this?
Alright,
we'll leave it at that.
Anything that hurts other people or that's illegal, like shady deals.
Yeah.
Won't run drugs.
No. What about like if someone offered you $100 to run Tylenol, like running across town because they needed it there quickly in a snowstorm? Okay.
But that's helping them.
So you will be a drug runner, just in the right context.
That's a very good point, yes.
It's a pretty good joke, eh? I kind of like that. Thanks, coffee. Now, you've got this concept called U-commerce. Can you tell us a bit more about U-commerce?
The promotion of one's talent, skills, or abilities via the self-broadcasting and social media platforms available online for free. And
I noticed you've gotten into public speaking. What was that, your first speech? What was that like?
It was nerve-wracking. I prepared probably for 2 weeks beforehand. It was to a bunch of students, so some of them were engaged, but others were used to listening to teachers talk and not really wanting to, you know, have to sit through it. Yeah. But it was great. I found at the beginning I was solid and I kind of rambled towards the middle. Rambling,
much like many of the interviews on the Blue and White Garage, which I'm usually the one rambling. Have you made $100 in like 5 minutes? Just sort of.
An artist called Stephen Frew came to my parents' house in Calgary over Christmas, and he took all these pictures of me just like laying on the floor by the Christmas tree wearing a mask, and he paid me $100. It took less than 2 hours.
What's the longest you've had to work for the $100?
The longest.
Most effort, let's say.
The Blackberry Mascot.
My imagination is that it's like a Blackberry phone and you're wearing it.
Yeah, so I was a Blackberry Mascot and it was part of this big event. I got into the costume and about 5 minutes after wearing it, and I was supposed to have somebody who was guiding me because you can barely see in the darn thing, I realized it was broken on the inside. So there was all this like hot glue sticking out, and I was thinking, I am a model, and if I fuck on my face, you know, like I'm gonna be missing out on a hell of a lot more than $100. There was a fan that was supposed to be on the inside to give ventilation that was broken, and then finally when we went outside it was raining and they made me stand out in the cold and I was all wet. And finally, like, I took the costume off and the street team manager, he's like, Aimee, what are you doing? Why aren't you getting that costume on? Every time I see you, you're taking the costume off. I was like, it's just that you have to understand, it's so cold and like, and it's broken and like, I can't do this. And so he took me to the car, and I really wish I would have kept it rolling. the speech that he gave me was just ridiculous. It's like, when you have a mission, you have to do it, and you're part of a team. I'm like, but it's broken, and he's like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, so my health and safety does not matter? And he fired me. He actually fired me.
Oh, you got fired?
I did, and they never paid me.
Well, it just seems like a really great way to sell Blackberries. Have a mascot dancing around.
Yeah, no.
Where do you find most of your jobs?
Craigslist and through referrals, word of mouth through Twitter.
I've noticed on your blog you have many Craigslist ads taken verbatim. You've actually copied the entire ad into your blog because the content is so good. There's so many interesting things happening. Who are some people you've met through Craigslist, or what are some jobs you've gotten out of this?
Recently I applied to be a mime, right? Because this guy wanted 2 mimes to show up to surprise his girlfriend, but they never wrote back.
They didn't write back?
No, didn't even mime a response.
Yeah, I guess. Do mimes, the thing about mimes is they don't talk, but I guess they mime. I guess that's the verb. But do they type? That's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
No one really knows. But they don't talk, right? They don't even, they're kind of just like silent. It's one of those things that we should get to the bottom of, I think. Speaking of important mysteries, we currently don't know who these 5 guys are. Do you have any idea who they might be?
Is that your dad?
No, my brother found this picture on the internet in 2002, and since 2002 to this day, we have no clue who they are. We've got a lot of hot leads.
If I am able to find these 5 men, will you pay me $100?
Definitely, yes.
So if I walk around the streets of Montreal with this photo, did you know who these people are? And
yeah.
I cut together a video of that.
That'd be a great way to spend $100. I think this is an important expenditure, yeah. What are some jobs that you've been offered that you haven't taken?
Like there was a guy who kept communicating with me and said, I want you to help me fix my computer. And then I was like, okay, is it at your office? And he said, well, I'm kind of moving, so I'll let you know. And he kept sending me back and forth emails. And finally he was like, well, it's at my house. And I said, okay. I said, so could I come around at like 4 p.m.? And he's like, no, I was thinking you would come around at 9 o'clock at night.
And you show up and there's like candlelight.
Yeah, so I didn't show up. I gotta, when you get kind of that creepy feeling, you kind of gotta go with it.
Go with your gut.
Go with your gut.
On the other hand, though, there's a guy with a broken computer out there, and it might be your fault.
That I didn't help him.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are ridiculous. They give me the lurid offers.
Yeah.
He said, I will pay you $200 to watch me masturbate. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, that's ridiculous that you wouldn't say yes. It requires no effort on your part. I'm like...
Depending on the guy, it would require certain amounts of effort.
I'm like, no, my dignity is worth more than $200. But back to the guys who give me lurid offers, his whole email signature was where he worked. And like, I could have called him, I mean, he was married. I figured out he was married. You can Google anything about people.
It's almost like you're a private detective of some sort.
That's right.
It's almost like you could blackmail him for more than $200.
I won't do that though. 100 jobs is innately good. I do not want to see people suffer.
I absolutely agree, but blackmail, this could be quite lucrative.
No.
No? Okay.
Is that how you traded up to a house?
No.
Now I know how he got the house.
That's how I plan to do it again, though. Blackmail, yeah. The first time was all like positive vibes and working with people I trusted and liked. But I'm thinking blackmail, yeah. Or lying.
Lying?
Yeah, lying, cheating, and blackmail. That's the future.
So this isn't really a talk show. This is just, you've been hired by Canadian intelligence to locate these 5 men.
It's just an elaborate front for... It's pretty much just an elaborate front for finding out who these guys are. The website is 100jobs.ca. That's O-N-E-H-U-N. I don't know how to spell it, but you spell it all out. The link's right below this video. Please check out the site. It's awesome. I've loved the videos. I love the blog posts. It's really, really good times. And if you have a job, if you want to hire Aimee for any job whatsoever, except for lying, cheating, no sexy, things along those lines, please give her a shout.
Unless you're Johnny Depp, and then you can hire me for sexy.
You heard it, Johnny.